Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Tonight. Summer feels like it's light years away now for so many months.
Well, at least spring is in the air, and weather is finally starting to shift, and we've already experienced a few sunny days, but summer's going to be here before we really know it. You know that.
Yeah, on top of making your summer plans, also the perfect time to educate yourself about sun protection, how to choose the right sun care products.
Now, before last summer, there had never been a standardized broad spectrum test to determine the UVA level of protection, that and SPF. Now, there is a new labeling from the federal government that you really need to know about.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit now. Teresa Dancer from Le Cocon Day Spa on Oakland Avenue in Shorewood. Thanks for coming in and telling us about this tonight.
Teresa, thank you so much. Tell us, what does this new labeling mean, and what do we need to know?
Well, here's an example of the new labeling. One of the first things you'll probably notice when you're shopping for an SPF is that the term waterproof or sweatproof is no longer recognized by the FDA. So those terms are no more. What you may see is very water resistant or water resistant. Under the new regulations, manufacturers can only label their products as water resistant, and then they need to clearly indicate how often it needs to be reapplied. And experts say about every 2 hours you need to reapply the sunscreen in order for it to be effective.
Okay, in terms of SPF, people want to get that SPF 40, 50 flannel shirt, you know, that same equivalent. Is higher always better, though?
Okay, well, you have to pay attention to the factor. Very few people understand.
What is the factor?
The SPF factor.
Okay.
So very few people understand what that means. So the SPF is a measurement of the effectiveness of the sunscreen itself. And SPF sunscreen tells you two things. It tells you how long you can stay in the sun and how well the formula filters the sun's rays. And SPF of 30 blocks about 97% of the sun's rays, and a 50 only about 1% more. So this is why under the new regulations, according to the FDA, they've decided to cap all SPFs at 50 because outside of that, really the sunscreens of 50
Not much
cannot
different.
support a higher SPF, correct?
Yeah, so just the higher doesn't necessarily mean better.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Now, the American Academy of Dermatology says the official minimum should be 30. So you should really have 30 on there. Make sure there's a 30 on your cream that you're looking at.
Yes, absolutely. And another important thing too is to make sure that it says broad spectrum. Broad spectrum would mean that it protects against both UVB and the UVA rays. Prior to this regulation, it was only the UVB rays that were recognized and tested by the FDA, and now you have to look for that broad spectrum label to make sure you're getting both the aging rays protected from them and also the burning rays. The amount of measurement that...
Hold that up for us there.
So we have like a teaspoon, which is really, according to the FDA, when they do some testing, when they do their testing on sunscreens, they realize that most consumers do not apply the concentration that's tested.
That's it. Yeah.
So understanding how much to apply is key. The correct amount, again, would be a teaspoon for the entire face, and then a shot glass for the whole body. And with the teaspoon for the face, you're going to have to think every 2 hours reapplication, whether you're in direct sunlight or coming out of the swimming pool, you're going to need to reapply because SPF is meant to stay on the skin in order to be effective.
And you're going to show us now how to slather this on correctly.
Yes, so she's going to show you. And the reason why is because a lot of consumers...
Go ahead and face camera 2 for us there.
And what is our model's name?
Her name is Amanda Babineau.
Hi, Amanda.
Camera
Thank
3.
you.
She's an esthetician
Right
at the spa as well. So she's going to show you effective application. Now, it may seem like a bit much at first, but a lot of people, they don't really get behind the ears, in the eyebrows, tops of the forehead, behind the neck, down the neck, underneath the chin. So really, you're going to have to make sure that you're applying the SPF all over. You're really slathering it and working it into the skin.
And you really did use that whole spoonful there. I mean, that's a
There's still a
remarkable
little
amount.
bit, but you really need to think more is better, not less is more.
And there's still products that are under scrutiny, like sprays, towelettes, shampoos, things like that, that are really being closely analyzed by the FDA. Regardless of the ever-shifting changes in the regulations, though, it's just really important to educate consumers on the changes that are taking place. And then for your own safety, for your skin and for your health of your skin, make sure that number one, avoidance would be the best option, but second in line is really making sure that you have sun protection.
All right, you keep rubbing that in while we are in commercial break. Teresa Danzer
look at
from
how
Look At Calm
beautiful.
Day Spa on
Thank
Oakland
you.
Avenue in Shorewood. Thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Ladies,
Thank
we
you so much.
appreciate the information, especially now. And pretty soon it will be summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
More
Well, maybe not.
information on this at the website tmj4.com/Wisconsin Tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.